Hey everyone, and welcome to our full video review for the Aorus X7. The first thing that we need to do is go over the specs of the X7. So let's start things off with the CPU, which is an i7-6820HK, which is overclockable. The GPU is an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1070 with 8GB of GDDR5 RAM. Memory inside is 16GB of DDR4 at 2400 MHz. The storage inside is 512 GB of PCIe NVMe M.2 solid-state drive and a 1TB 7200 RPM hard disk drive. There's also the Bigfoot Network Killer dual-band wireless AC LAN module and Bluetooth 4.1 on an M.2 chip. There is an included built-in HD web camera, and it comes with the 17.3-inch QHD wide-viewing LCD 120Hz matte type screen 2560 by 1440 monitor with G-Sync technology. On the left side of the device is an Ethernet port, one covered HDMI port that I don't think is actually meant for usage. There's also another covered port area but doesn't connect to anything behind it, it's just there. There's also one USB 3.0 port and two 3.5mm headphone and microphone ports. On the right side there is an SD card reader, one more USB 3.0 Type-C USB 3.1 port, another HDMI port, and one mini display port. And on the back side there's another USB 3.0 port and the AC adapter for power. The built-in keyboard feels sturdy and the keys have great type response while in use. The backlighting program included also has many options for customization, including breathing, wave, marquee, ripple, raindrop, rotate, and many other custom options for the user to play around with if they please. The touchpad has a very faint blue eagle and it picks up light in certain angles and looks very, very nice. It's also a very responsive and smooth matte feel, and it's easy to use and very responsive. I like it a lot. The screen angle can be opened up to around 130 degrees, about as far as you see in this shot here. Included in the box with the X7 are two booklets with manufacturer warranty information and user guide information. There are also optional laptop feed that can be added to the bottom of the laptop for some more height, a USB flash drive with included utility programs that has 8GB of capacity, and of course the included power cables. The battery inside is a LiPolymer 94.27 Wh and comes with a 230-watt AC power adapter. While using the X7 with lower backlight settings, you can expect around 2.5 hours of use while unplugged. Setting the backlight to a higher brightness level will use a full charge in around an hour and a half. Temperature levels of the device while under gaming loads heat notably around the rear sides and the back rear vents, where two fans exit their exhaust both from the side and the rear. No notable areas on the keyboard heat up where your hands might be resting, which is a good sign. And you can even see where the fans intake their air with the cool dark spots near the top. As for our decibel meter test, sitting in front of the computer with the fans under load will result in around 47 decibels. Closer to the laptop, the levels rise up almost by 10 to around 56. Finally, by the back and the side of the machine where one of the fans exit their exhaust heat, we had readings up around 65 decibels. As for our benchmarks, first we started off with Firestrike. The score was 15,014. It's better than 80% of all results, which is pretty good and actually puts it above a gaming laptop per se, but an overall good score for the Firestrike benchmark test. Then we ran our Cinebench test with OpenGL. It did 133.5 FPS. Then for the CPU score, it was at 833 CB. On the left-hand side, you can see how it compares to other CPUs. It's up towards the top, only actually being edged out, being compared to a couple of desktop processors. So inside, a very good processor in the X7. Next, we ran our Crystal Disk Mark scores. I'm going to cover the sequential read and write for that M.2 SSD inside with very good read speeds and write speeds at 1505 and 1243, pretty quick. And then for the hard disk drive inside, the terabyte, the sequential read and writes actually for a hard disk drive were pretty good at 143.8 for the read and 134.1 for the write speed. Moving on next to our gaming test, we started off with Grand Theft Auto 5, maxed out with no MSAA and averaged 114 frames per second. Next, we did it with no MSAA, but with the advanced settings turned on and averaged 74 FPS. And then finally, we moved on with the advanced settings and MSAA at ×4 and averaged 68 FPS. For our temperatures while running these tests, we averaged 76 degrees Celsius on the GPU and 78 degrees Celsius on the CPU. Next, we ran Rise of the Tomb Raider first on very high with FXAA and averaged 82 frames a second. The next test, we ran it with SMAA and averaged 75 frames per second. And then we did SSAA times 2 and averaged 54 frames per second. The average temperatures of the GPU during testing was 75 degrees Celsius, and the CPU's average temperature was 73 degrees Celsius. We also tested Gears of War 4 first on medium and averaged 105 FPS. Then we did it on high and got 92 FPS, and then finally on ultra settings and averaged 70 FPS. During the test, the GPU averaged 76 degrees Celsius and the CPU averaged 73 degrees Celsius. And for our final test, we ran Dirt Rally on Ultra, first with MSAA at times 2 and averaged 124 frames per second. Then we ran it with times 4 and times 8 with scores of both 109 FPS and 86 FPS. The average temperatures of the GPU were 76 degrees Celsius and the CPU averaged 73 degrees Celsius. If you're looking to put a personal touch on your machine, be sure to check out our extensive customization options before checkout, including upgrades available to the RAM, the storage, RAID configurations, cooling, overclocking, custom paint, hydro and graphic wraps, laser etching, and much, much more. Going in and taking a look at the BIOS, if we go in under the Advanced tab to Trusted Computing, there's actually one thing I wanted to point out is the TPM 2.0. Kind of nice to see this on a laptop. It's not something that you'll see all the time on a laptop, but it is a nice option. Other than that, everything else in the BIOS is pretty straightforward. Make sure you pause the video on any of the screens you see to take a closer look at any of the BIOS options. Something we missed that you'd like to see about this device? Let us know down below in the comments. As always, be sure to check out the product link in the description or leave us a question if you have anything that we can help you with here at Exotic PC. I've been Andrew. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for future product overviews and reviews.